The problem we have with Social Security is that the spending in the program is growing much faster than the revenues going into the program. And as a result, this mythical trust fund is being depleted. The IOUs are being cashed in, which simply means the Treasury is borrowing more money. But the trust fund, as phony as it is, it's still an important bookkeeping entry, and that's going to run out in the early half of the first half of next decade. And then, technically, under the law, there'll be an automatic cut in benefits for senior citizens of more than 20%. Now, will politicians allow that to happen? Probably not. Heck, they could pass a law tomorrow and add 5 zeros to every IOU in the trust fund, and on paper that would solve the problem. But of course, it would only solve the problem by having Uncle Sam just issue hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, and eventually trillions and trillions of dollars of new debt. So, given the aging of our population, and given the fact that Social Security is so poorly designed, in the book, Les Rubin and I proposed to, in effect, do something similar to what you guys have in Australia, have a system of personal retirement accounts based on real savings. Now, you guys sort of just adopted it out of nothing. We have this giant unfunded liability and poorly designed Social Security system. And so our challenge is going to be entirely different, because if we allow younger workers to start, in effect, shifting their payroll taxes into personal retirement accounts, how are we going to pay the benefits to current retirees or to workers who are too old to benefit from a new system? And that's what's called the transition cost. And the transition cost, frankly, will be enormous. You're talking tens of trillions of dollars over the next 20 years. And some people say, oh my God, we can't do that. Tens of trillions of dollars when we already have this giant amount of government debt. Well, here's the most important thing to understand. The unfunded liability, the cash flow deficit of the Social Security system over the next 75 years in inflation-adjusted dollars is more than $60 trillion. So here's the choice we have in the U.S., two choices. To keep the current system going with a giant $60 trillion plus cash flow deficit, or transition to a system of personal retirement accounts, which $20 trillion or more of transition costs. Now, I don't like having to make that choice, but if I'm going to have to make a choice, I'd rather have a $20 trillion problem to deal with than a $60 trillion problem to deal with. And then at the end of the day, wouldn't it be great to have a retirement system based on private savings rather than a government retirement system that's untrustworthy, that's based on taxes and debt? So I think Australia, not just Australia, Switzerland, Netherlands, Sweden, Chile, there are several dozen countries around the world that now have much stronger and retirement systems that are better for national economies, but retirement systems that also are better for individual workers. So that's a giant challenge for the United States. We almost did it, by the way, during the Clinton years. And that's what's so tragic. Bill Clinton was on board. He understood the issue. Republicans in Congress understood the issue. But then we got that whole impeachment thing, and Bill Clinton had to move to the left to shore up the Democratic base. And as a result, we had this wonderful opportunity back when we had a much stronger fiscal situation, and we blew it. It could very well be in 30 years, as once we've hit that iceberg with our fiscal Titanic, sort of the on the tombstone of the American economy will be, it's a shame that we had the Monica Lewinsky Bill Clinton scandal, because it ruined our chance of saving the country.